welcome to today's class. As I mentioned, we're using bolster blanket or blanket optional bolster blocks and a strap for today. And we're going to focus on yin poses for our legs and our feet, upper body as well, of course, but working really with our roots, right? Our legs are our roots, connected with the root chakra and feeling grounded in our body as we move into spring. So let's begin standing today. And come into mountain pose. So we haven't done this for a while. I think you guys know what's coming. We're going to begin in mountain pose. Lift your toes, spread them wide, replant them on the mat. And just take a look at your feet for a moment. Just take a look at your feet on the earth with your toes nicely rooted. And imagine them like roots of a tree going into the earth, and feel that deep connection through the base of your body with your feet. And notice what a difference that feels when you have that mind connection with your feet in the earth and feel that energy moving into the earth. And then feel some energy through your legs. You can engage the pelvic floor and draw in and up. And then notice where your chest, your shoulders are. You can lift your shoulders up and allow them to soften down your back. And then your hands are facing forward, and see if you can bring your ears over your shoulders. So just a conscious effort to draw the chin back ever so slightly. Ears above shoulder, and now lift that rib cage up off of your lower torso. So think of lengthening the rib cage away from the hips. And let's just focus on our breath here for a few moments in mountain. Lengthening the inhales and the exhales. Noticing where the breath is mostly lying in the body, perhaps in the upper chest. Just taking a snapshot so that as we move through class, you can notice again at the end of class how that breath has perhaps deepened. And keeping your eyes closed or soft gaze and really continuing to feel those feet rooting down into the mat. And now soften the knees, soften the engagement, and begin a little shaking. Yeah, we're gonna shake that tree today. We haven't done this for a while, I know. So shake it off, a little soft bounce on the heels, soft knees. But your feet are still rooting into the mat. You can still feel your toes nicely rooted. It's your heels that are lifting off, very softly bouncing. And you can imagine your hands almost like leaves blowing in the wind, or maybe it's a really, really blustery day and those limbs are really shaking about. This is our weird moment in class. But gosh, we haven't done it for so long, have we? It's been ages. So continue to shake, shake, shake. I do love this movement. And let the breath sigh out as you need. Don't hold it in. If you feel like a big exhale coming, then let it go. Shake, 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 and come to stillness. And maybe take a soft gaze. Feel the heart rate come down, settle. Feel that buzzing of energy through your arms, around the fingertips, maybe around the calves, the shins, the feet. And just let it all dissipate. Continuing to root down through the ground. So good. So our next posture is actually our first yin posture, and it's yogi's choice here, okay? I want to give you the choice to either take dangle against the wall or on your mat, or a squat, okay? So your choice, I'm going to take a squat supported by a block. And if you'd like a dangle, because I know, you know, we have our favorite poses, right? So maybe you really like dangle, but maybe you'd really prefer a squat today. So if you're taking dangle, allow your knees to be soft and your hands to drip down towards the mat and the head to hang heavy. I think I changed my mind. I think I'm going to take dangle. I'm a Libra, so changing my mind is a frequent thing in my life. And if you're taking a squat, you can use a block or not. A block will help you sit nice and upright without a lot of stress in the knees and in the hips, because squatting is quite a big pose for the knees and the hips. And if you're squatting, you can just press your elbows into your knees to open them up and have a long spine, crown reaching towards the sky. I'm going to join you in dangle. And I think I'm going to take it against the wall today. So against the wall, the hips can help support the body. And allow your head to be really nice and heavy if you're in dangle. If you're feeling a lot of stress in the backs of the legs, bend the knees a little bit more. It will take some of that stress out of the backs of the legs and allow that opening to be in the low back and the spine. We're going to be here for a couple of minutes. I'm going to put on some music. Tune into your breath. Imagine your breath cycling from the base of your spine on your inhale all the way to the crown of your head. And then on the exhale, all of that energy just kind of falling away to the earth. Notice if you're holding any tension in the arms, excuse me, you can really allow the elbows to be soft. The palms can flip up or down, whatever feels more suitable. But allow the hang to really be in the spine here, in the low back. Done here. So to exit the pose, we're going to softly make our way to the mat. If you're on the wall, then please first come up really slowly and just edge your way to the mat, and then come down onto your knees and take a soft child's pose. So maybe knees together, head comes to the mat, flip the palms up, allow the shoulders to soften down towards the mat. And let the energy settle from that dangle. for a few moments with another pose. Bring one of your blocks with you and your strap. Come back up with the block in front of you and bring the strap over your left shoulder. And then come on to the block with your right foot. So we're going to bring a calf step stretch and some opening into the upper body. So your foot is on the block and you're stretching that heel down towards the floor. And then bring your left arm out to the side, thumb facing down. Bring it back behind your back. Take the hold of the strap with your left hand. Right arm comes up and take a hold of the strap. Actually, guys, switch to the left foot. It provides more balance. So left foot on the block. Sorry about that. Left foot up on the block. Heel reaching for the ground. Played with this a few times and remembered the balance being tricky when you had it on both the same side here. So breathing now, and maybe as we soften into the pose, just rock a little left and right, feeling where in the calf you might be especially tight. My calf is tight in every direction. So settle on in wherever it feels best for you. And then I'm going to start our timer. So really nice stretch for the calf here, which I find there aren't a lot of yin poses that really address our calves. So this is a nice one. And then we're opening up through the shoulders at the same time. Remembering our rooting of our feet, so that right foot is nice and rooted, and that left heel is reaching for the ground. Notice what's happening in the upper body. Allow that stretch in this cow face position with your arms to be relatively soft, right? It's easy in this posture to muscle into the strap and want to get a lot out of that stretch in the upper body. And just remembering that it's yin. So find that edge without going over. Nice deep breaths into the belly as you're feeling that calf speak to you. And if you're swaying in the upper body a little bit, that's okay. Remembering again, when we're in mountain or taking tree pose or any standing poses, our bodies do sway, right? Much like trees, deeply rooted, but the branches sway. So it's okay for the upper torso to be just kind of moving ever so slightly. Very natural with your breath. We don't have to be statues here. And that's our time. So take a nice deep inhale. Let that deep inhale fill up your belly. On your exhale, release the upper hand and left hand. Shake it out, step off the block. Take a moment, just close your eyes and notice both legs. Notice that calf, how different that one side feels. Pretty significant, right? So now we'll move to the other side. So strap comes on the right shoulder. And your right foot comes up on the block with the balls of the feet on the block and the heel then reaching for the floor. Reach your right arm out to the side, turn your thumb down to the floor, reach back and take a hold of the strap. Left arm comes up overhead, bend elbow, to reach for the strap. So you've got a nice solid hold of the strap without pulling too much. And remembering some groundedness through the feet, through the roots of our body, with some softness in the upper body. Sometimes when we're in these poses and there is a lot of engagement, like with the lower body right now, it's tricky to tap into that softness elsewhere in the body, right? It's kind of like, what's that thing, pat your head and rub your belly? Yeah, doing two things at once. And your shoulders may be very different. My shoulders are. I have a lot of glitchy stuff in my right shoulder. That's the technical term, by the way. Glitchy stuff. And so I'm very much, I have a lot more mobility on one side than the other. So respect that that edge can be quite different on this side. Almost done. Stay with it. That's our time. So just softly release the right arm off the strap and the left. Shake out the arms, remove the foot, and just come to mountain one more time. Notice any movement of energy through the body. Hopefully your calves feel nice and open now. Wonderful. We're going to move down to the mat now and stay there. We're going to come to caterpillar for our next posture, and we're going to hold this one for a nice juicy amount of time. So let's set ourselves up for a lot of support in caterpillar. If you find caterpillar is very straining behind the legs, then roll a blanket and place it under the knees. That helps support, lift up at the backs of the knees. You can roll your mat or sit up on a prop to help lift your hips a couple of inches up, and you don't need too much. Usually just a little bit provides enough pelvic lift. And then a block maybe for the head or any other support that might feel good. And then palms can face up and just allow your torso to slide down towards the block if you're using it, or whatever support you have, and maybe you're just letting your head hang heavy. Feet are soft. We're allowing those roots to be very relaxed now. Soft feet, soft spine. And we're going to hold this one for longer, so be very supported and settle on in. And this is one of those postures that the spine will really open up over time. So allow that edge to move, budge, as you hold, but not forcing it. We find our edge, we find stillness, and then we find the length, the time in the posture. Our principles of yin. I'd like to add the fourth principle is, however, adjust, right? Adjust if at any time it's not feeling okay in your body. Okay in the sense that there's any sharp pains or burning, anything like that. Discomfort and stress in the stretch is fine. And of course, discomfort of being in a pose for a long time, the stillness. to turn up some music. Stay with your breath. Notice the breath rise and fall in the low belly. Maybe notice the breath in the back body too. Posture. Stay where you are, but drift the nose over the left leg. Just maybe a centimeter or two. Very small shift. Notice how that changes. Let's stretch down through the right side of the neck and back body. And now drift over center very slowly and over the right knee, right leg. Again, noticing how that impacts the stress. over center. Take an inhale, fill up through the chest, the ribs, the low belly. Flip your palms so that they're facing down and use your palms to slowly walk your spine back. Really slowly, guys. Really slowly. You may feel a lot of tenderness, some dull aching. Come back to neutral spine, sitting upright in Dandasana, and allow the energy to settle. Feel the sensations, notice the after effects. So we were in that pose for over 7 minutes. We were in it for over 6 just in stillness, and then we shifted side to side for another minute. So full over 7 minutes. We really need to kind of respect our body's ability to recalibrate after. Just give it a moment. Nice. All right, we're gonna make our way onto our backs and bring your bolster over to your left side of your body and bring your strap with you and loop your strap. So we're coming into Supta Padangusthasana and using our strap and our bolster for some support. Looping your strap and coming onto your backs. This one is so different than my strap at home. It's like foreign to me. Okay, so coming onto your backs and bringing your strap on looping it on the base of your left foot. Good for my timer. And right knee is bent for now, so right foot on the mat and left leg extended in the air. Press into the strap with the sole of your foot. Feeling a really nice stretch down the back of the leg. And allow that left hip to sink into the mat. So notice if you can sort of energetically imagine stretching up with the leg. Now allow it to drop down. Allow that left hip to drop down into the earth. Maybe you can feel the difference while still stretching the leg. And you can experiment with stretching the right leg long, noticing how that feels in your body. I'm just going to hold this for another few breaths. Now snuggle that bolster right up against your left hip. Right up, like flush with your left hip. Take the strap loop into the left hand and begin to open the left leg out to the left to your first edge. So having that bolster there helps support the leg and the hip so that we're not having the muscle into the stretch and allowing the stretch to come very much into the inner thigh, the left inner thigh here. We're going to hold this for a couple of minutes. And again, if that right leg is extended and it's not feeling supportive to you, then bend the right knee and place the foot back on the mat. And if your right leg is extended, imagine the right abdominals yearning towards the floor, moving away from that extended left leg. So we have lots of opening in the pelvic bowl here. Maybe place your right hand on your lower abdominals, on your low belly. Just be with the breath coming in and out here. 40 seconds in the posture. And now on your next inhale, fill up, low belly, feel that hand rise, ribs and chest. And begin to bring that leg back over your center line. Bend your knee, release the strap. Extend your leg long, extend both legs long now. And notice the difference. Is your right leg jealous? Mine is. Just give it another minute to settle before we switch sides. And I'm going to change my direction on the mat so that I'm not opening against the wall here, but you guys can simply bring the bolster over to your right side now to set up on the other side. And bend both knees, feet on the mat. Bend your right leg, extend that right foot into the air with the strap looped around the sole of the foot, and extend that foot, that leg up towards the sky, pressing into the strap. And again, allowing that right hip to drop into the mat. So you can even maybe play with pushing that heel up and noticing how when the hip is sort of lifted off the ground, allow it to drop down into the mat and then extend the leg. And you can explore extending the left leg, straightening it long, seeing how that feels on this side. Another couple of breaths here. And now snuggle that bolster very close in towards your hip, really almost wedging it in under your hip. And bringing the strap into your right hand and allowing that right leg to open up to the side. And if your left leg is extended long, really imagine lots of opening between the right leg and that left hip rooting down towards the floor, almost stretching that abdominal cavity away from the right leg. And again, you can place that left hand on the low belly. Just keep you with your breath here. And your leg doesn't have to be very wide, right? It can be wherever you're feeling that sensation. You guys are all experienced yogis, and you know that it's not how the pose looks, it's how it feels in the body. There's a quote that goes, yoga is not for the flexible, it's for the willing. I really like that. And one of my daughters says, I can't do yoga, I'm not flexible. And I say, exactly, you do yoga then. It's for the willing. We're almost done on this side. Another few cycles of breath here. take your last inhale. Feel that low belly rise against the hand and exhale. And then begin to slowly bring that leg back up over your body. Release the strap, extend both legs long. And just take a moment to notice. Good. And then we're going to set up for 2 more floor postures. So you may want to have your blocks available or your bolster, but right away, before we move into those postures, we're going to give our lower back some love. So hug your knees in towards your chest and interlace your hands over your shins, or hug your knees, whatever grasp feels good in your body. Hugging your knees towards your chest, and then some rocking side to side. Breathing as you're moving, not holding the breath in any tense areas. And that can be the response, is when we hit a spot that feels sore, we can hold our breath. So be very aware of moving the breath in those spots. And if you find a little niggly area, I've got a couple, then just pulse around on it with that hug of your knees, pulsing in, massaging on the floor. And then go for another little exploration. Find out what else is hanging out there in the low back. Whatever speaks to you, and then hold and breathe and pulse. Excellent. And then returning the feet to the mat. Knees are bent. We're going to set up for a twist. So extending the right leg long, drawing the left knee in towards the chest, and then angle that left knee towards the left shoulder or the left armpit there, so that the leg is hugged up on the side of the body against the ribs. And then take a hold of the outside of the left knee and roll over towards the right. And you may want to catch a block or your bolster here for your knee. Option to extend the leg long. So if you're extending the leg long, allow the block or bolster to be there for your foot or the calf area. And this can feel very intense, so take it if it feels nice in your body. Adjust with the upper body, press into the right arm and lift and replant the back and the shoulders to open the chest to the sky. Arms are long at shoulder height in a T, and head can be looking up to the sky, or you can choose to look over the left hand. We're going to be here for a few minutes. I'm going to turn on our music. And if your leg is extended long, you can again think of that leg being nourished here in this pose, that root of our body being nourished with that extra stretch down the outside of the leg. You do also feel that stretch up through the side body as well with the leg extended. to move out of the posture on this side, taking in a big inhale. If your leg is extended long, then first bend that left knee and bring the left knee over to the right to stack the legs. And then tuck the left toes in behind the right leg and begin to rotate on that foot to come back up over your hips. Left knee comes up to the sky, followed slowly by the right. And replant your hips. Take a moment here just with bent knees before we shift to the other side. If you used a block on the other side, then you can bring it over to your left. I'm just going to switch directions. You guys stay exactly where you are. And now bringing the right knee in towards the chest, extending the left leg long, hugging that right knee into the chest, and then angle the knee to the armpit, allowing the leg to snuggle in against the right ribs. Breath here. Then take a hold of the outside of the right knee and draw that right knee across your body. Again, maybe finding your block. If you extended your leg on the other side, you can again explore on this side, see how that feels, catching the block with your foot or the bottom of your calf. Well, not really your calf, your lower leg. And then replanting the upper body. So press into that left arm, lift the left shoulder off the floor and replant open the chest. Head can be neutral or maybe looking over to the right, or very soft looking to the left. We don't always have to look over the opposite arm, right? We do that very much in flow class, but in the end we can keep it soft. I'm going to replay the music again. Notice your breath low in your belly, through the back body as well. Posture. Just notice if you're gripping in the twist. Notice if that bottom leg is gripping or if you're holding in the jaw. Just a little reminder to release any of that extra tension. Last cycle of breath here. Nice full inhale into the low belly. And on on your exhale, if that top leg is extended, then first bend the right knee and stack both knees. And then slowly bring the right foot in behind the left and roll back on to your back and onto the sole of that right foot, followed by the left knee. And lift and replant your hips. And to finish off practice today, we're going to take a reclined tree or fallen tree. So extend the left leg long and allow that right knee to fall out to the side with the sole of the right foot along the inner thigh of the left. And if you'd like a block under your right knee for support, then reach for that and place it there so that you're not trying to hold the knee in place. It might feel nice and supportive to have that block underneath the knee or a rolled blanket. And then bringing our arms into cactus, lifting the shoulder blades, replanting, allowing for just a slight chest opening here as well. And really allowing our bodies to sink into this fallen tree pose as we finish practice, and how we focused on our legs as the roots and connecting with the earth. Just imagine yourself here now like that tree with the branches soft. And your legs have been activated throughout class. Allow the hips to open up here. Notice if that left hip is lifting up off of the floor. If it is, then put a little support under the right knee so that both hips can be supported on the mat. I'm just going to take a blanket roll and place it under my right knee. Maybe even want to bring in slight ujjayi breath here, allowing that breath to fill up through the trunk of your body. We usually take tree pose in flow, and it's such an active posture, right? And this is such a beautiful option to enjoy the posture and the opening in the hips in a much more passive way. Last round of breath here. And we're simply going to now slide that right leg back out to meet the left. And take a moment to notice both hips, both legs. And then slide the left foot up the inner line of the right leg, coming into that tree shape on the left, or half butterfly. Maybe putting a little support under that left knee, arms in cactus. Noticing the opening on the left side. Is the right hip lifting up, maybe offering some support under the knee. Softness in the face and the fingers, the upper body, softness through the lower body. This is such a passive pose now. We don't need to muscle into anything here. sliding that left foot back down along the right, coming back with extended legs for just a moment. And before we move into Shavasana, we'll just take gentle windshield wiper with the legs, a little somatic movement. So bend the knees, place the feet on the mat, soles of the feet on the mat, lift, replant the hips. Bring your arms out to a T at shoulder height, palms facing down. Begin to slowly roll onto the right edges of your feet, allowing the knees to come down to the right. Noticing the left hip lift up off the floor as you do. And then slowly lifting the knees back up through center, rolling onto the soles of the feet. And then slowly rolling onto the left edges of the feet as the knees come down to the left. Hip lifts up on the right. And lifting up through center again. And this time, as you roll onto the right edges of your feet, allow the head to look to the left. Knees come down to the right. Head rolls to the left, looking out over your left. Fingers or eyes closed. Breathe into that space in the left lower abdomen here and in your low back as you stretch to the right. Rolling back on to the feet, through center, rolling over onto the left sides of the feet. Knees come down to the left, head looks to the right. Breathe into that space in the right waist, rib cage, low back. Breathe and back through center. One more time on each side, and this time really tuning into your own body, hearing the sound of your head rolling to the left, knees coming down to the right, breathing in to the left waist. Breathing in as you roll back up through center, hearing your head roll through center, coming over to the left, slowly rolling down to the left with the knees, looking over the right. Breathing into the right waist. And rolling back through center one more time. I'm coming to center. Letting a sigh go here. Out through the mouth, extend the legs long. Take up lots of space in Shavasana now, legs long and wide on the mat. Arms wide alongside your body. Lift and replant the shoulders. And settle in, feel the back body nice and heavy now on the mat. There's nothing else to do but digest your yin class today. Soften through your limbs, your roots. Soften through the face, part the teeth. Quiet mind, quiet body, Shavasana.
Back to your space there, to your awareness. And once again, taking just a bit of a snapshot of how you're feeling. Where your breath is since starting class. And appreciating this space that you have right now, right here in your body. And then begin to make small movements, moving the hands and the feet. Turning the head side to side. Taking deeper breaths and maybe reaching the hands overhead, taking a big body stretch. And then rolling off to your left side in fetal pose. Allowing your body to situate here. And then pushing up into a comfortable seat. Oh, I know that's hard after all those poses on the floor. Boy, oh boy. Nice, come to a tall spine. Let's take an inhale and exhale together. Let it go through the mouth. Hands come together in prayer in front of your heart. Thank you for allowing me to lead you in class today. And I wish you a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you and namaste. I hope you guys feel good after class.